Good morning and welcome to the proposed new series of elucidating, explaining Sikhism. The religion, its various manifestations, its policies, its philosophy. And I have received a number of messages why I am starting this new series of comments specifically on one religion, that is Sikh religion. Is it because I was brought up and born in a Sikh family and of my religious affiliation? Partly, yes. But there have been other reasons. I wrote in my comments earlier that the learned professors from Cambridge, from Tel Aviv University, from Princess University, Thailand, and from Princeton, USA. These four professors wrote to me and wanted me to have a special series on Sikhism because Sikhism as religion has certain connotations which are good, great, and some are negative. But apart from this, the same day when I heard and received these messages from these four authorities, I was browsing YouTube and I came across a lecture by a famous Hindi poet, Kumar Vishwas. He is having a new series, I think, on Ramayana, excellent series. And let me tell you, very scholarly, very intelligent. But one thing did hurt me, or rather pricked me. When he was referring to all the religious leaders, he referred to Moses, he referred to Abraham, he referred to Christ, he referred to Ram, to Krishna, and he referred to Hazrat Muhammad. While he was very businesslike while referring to all the prophets, including the Hindu prophets like Ram and Krishna, he was almost humbling himself, demeaning himself by praising Hazrat Muhammad to the skies. The only prophet who was honored with honorific G was Muhammad. I have no complaint about that. But the shock was that he did not refer once either to Nanak or to Gobind Singh, the two gurus of Sikh, the first and the last one. The first, who is supposed to be originator, though he did not set up Sikh religion, but the last gave it a certain form and was the founder of Khalsa religion. So when I find that even those intellectuals and poets of India, where Sikhism has a base, are almost ignorant of Sikhism, then the need of explaining Sikhism arises. And then, when the call came from the four corners of the world, and their complaint was identical. They were saying that much has been written about Sikhism, but most of the great commentaries are by the Western scholars, except one by Kushwant Singh. And they want a more authoritative, more scholarly outlook. So they came to me and I agreed to do it. That's why every Sunday I'll be explicating, explaining the intricacies and the nuances of Sikhism. I'll start next week with Guru Nanak. Incidentally, Guru Nanak's birthday falls on Friday. And on Sunday I'll discuss about that. My original idea was to discuss Guru Nanak's philosophy on Friday itself. But no, I then changed because this series is starting. And I'm going to discuss the contemporaneous relevance of Guru Nanak. I do not consider Guru Nanak to be the founder of Sikh religion. He was a humanist, but there were great qualities about him. He was a pantheist, possibly the only religious leader in all the religions who was a pantheist. He was an environmentalist, like Krishna. So these intricacies and these nuances make Sikhism unique religion. And that's why the series starts. Another thing which prompted me to start this series. Most of the impression of the people about Sikhs are twofold. One, you will never find a Sikh beggar. You will find Sikhs to be honest, hardworking, but not honest any longer. Not all of them. There are varieties of corruption all over the world, and Sikhism is, being a Sikh is not a certificate that you'll be honest, but they are hardworking. That goes without saying. They don't beg, they work. They earn by the sweat of their brow. Because the basic concept of Sikh is to work, kirt karo, that's working. Second is the jokes. Sikhs are a butt of jokes all over, rightly or wrongly. And it is to the credit of Sikhs that they take the jokes as jokes rather than feeling peeved, rather than crying peckway on the jokes made of them. And I've heard the finest jokes about the Sikhs come from Sikhs themselves. That capacity of creating humor, spreading laughter, but then these jokes also have a meaner aspect. And that is because of absolute ignorance about the religion. Let's not forget this is the youngest religion. And as a youngest religion, it naturally has adapted certain norms, certain nuances, certain ceremonial outlook from other religions, which is normal, which is natural. And in human minds, interaction of other culture is very common. So Sikhism would be indebted to diverse religions. Hinduism, of course, is the greatest influence on Sikhism because it's an offshoot of Hinduism. But Islam and Jewish philosophies also have impact on Sikh religion and the philosophy of Sikhs. And that's why the need to dovetail the similarities and the differences is there. And that was the second reason. So first was to remove the cobwebs. Second was to explain and clear the way. Thirdly, most of the Sikh commentary, but the Sikh scholars have had limited appeal because they were always upholding the scriptures. They were not critically examining them, they were just appreciating. I believe in critical appreciation. Give the credit where it's due, and where you disagree with an idea, disagree with it with all the regard for the fact that you cannot judge the past with the present. The social norms at that time, the cultural norms at that time had some impact, and rightly so. But even then, Sikhism was the most revolutionary religion at that time. As a matter of fact, every religion is quite revolutionary when it starts. But then it degenerates into being almost static. Because change is considered to be heretical. And without change you cannot progress. Sikhism also has that divisionary, diversionary aspect. But one thing would definitely be there, but that regarding the philosophy, it is inherently eternal. And one thing more, why this religion needs to be elaborated. Today there is no part of the world with the Sikhs or the followers of Sikhism you won't find. They might be dressed as Sikhs or might not be. But as a school of philosophy, this religion has the capacity to convert any dogma into a semantic discussion. And that's why when Professor Jacobson and Professor Ribbentrop, both of them wrote exactly the same language, I think they are friends as well, and then absolute neglect by Kumar Vishwas, and then the prompting from Tel Aviv and from Bangkok, made me feel that it is high time that I take up on myself to explain whatever I can about Sikh religion. And I can assure you one thing. You would find some things which I discuss to be known to you. You would also find my interpretation to be quite provocative and revelatory. Not insulting, not defamatory, but revelatory. I'll try to explain, explicate, and lay clear the intricacies of the thought and the philosophy as contained in the scriptures. So it shall be a critical appreciation. And next Sunday, when we meet, I'll discuss here with you the contemporary relevance of Guru Nanak's philosophy. But that would not be the end of the discussion on Guru Nanak's philosophy. The contemporary relevance is just one part. There are diverse parts. At least the philosophy can be discussed under a dozen subheadings. But here I'll be concentrating on the relevance, contemporary relevance of Guru Nanak's philosophy as pertained to Sikhism and as ingrained in the writings of Guru Nanak, in the Shabads, what they call it, the Bani of the Guru Nanak. The purpose would be to explain that Guru Nanak's thought was not for a time, they are eternally relevant. What he thought is relevant today. And at that time when he thought that, it had no relevance. So he is in fact a forerunner of the present thought. The way yesterday I discussed how Vedas originated the economic thought pattern, which we learned in our college days 2 millennia later. So the conception of Sikhism as a school of philosophy would be the mainstay of this series of comments every Sunday at this very time. And another thing, the same comments would be uploaded in YouTube in a new channel called Dr. Lamba Explains Sikhism. So if you miss the comments here, you can always go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, so that you are intimated whenever the new episode is there. And I can assure you, these comments are likely to provide you with a lot of food for thought, for contemplation, and also for adoption. Just thinking is not enough, but to incorporate it in your lifestyle, in your thought pattern, that is much more important. So look forward to see you next Sunday at this time to see me explain, explicate, elucidate some of the aspects of Sikhism. Thank you.